As pointed out in the previous chapter, Rizal gave up the idea of going back to Philippines upon learning that his family lost the case against the Dominicans in Manila. He thus decided to go to Madrid to supervise the handling of his family's appeal of the case at the Audiencia Real. This chapter is focused on the misfortunes Rizal experienced while in Madrid from 1890 to 1891, which culminated in his abdication of leadership in the reform movement in Europe. Arriving in Madrid early in August 1890, Rizal exhausted all available legal remedies to seek justice for his family and the farmers of Calamba. He sought the assistance of Asociación Hispano-Filipina and used the liberal newspapers in Madrid to ventilate the grievances of his family and the oppressed tenants in his hometown. With the assistance from Marcelo H. del Pilar and Dominador Gomez, he sought an audience with Senor Feby, the Minister of Colonies, to air the injustices committed by Governor-General Valeriano Weyler and Dominican friars against the powerless and poor farmers in Calamba. This audience proved to be futile. Rizal, therefore, sought the help of former liberal statesmen of Madrid. Again, he was frustrated as what he got from them were empty promises. On the whole, all the attempts and efforts exerted by Rizal and his friends ended up in failure. Rizal's family was thus denied of justice which he sought in Madrid. When Rizal attended a social gathering of Filipino expatriates in Madrid, Antonio Luna got intoxicated by wine and started blaming Rizal for his failure to win Nelly Busted's heart. Rizal denied Luna's accusation. Luna, however, started criticizing Nelly, and this irritated Rizal, knowing that he had a soft spot for women. Rizal therefore challenged Luna to a duel, while those who attended the gathering with them tried to pacify them. When Luna regained his normal sense, he came to realize that what he did was wrong. He asked Rizal for apology, which Rizal accepted. Rizal had not yet recuperated from the misfortunes he had suffered in Madrid when he received a letter from Leonor Rivera in the early part of December 1890. This letter shocked and saddened Rizal so much as Leonor informed him that she will be married to an Englishman named Henry Kipping, chosen for her by her mother. Broken-hearted, he realized that even though he lost Leonor Rivera, Rizal had nobler object of love which was none other than his motherland. At the outset, Rizal was the undisputed leader of the Filipino expatriates in Europe. Rizal, as a leader, he influenced his fellow reformers with his brand of idealism. He believed that to gain respect of the Spaniards and their government, they have to demonstrate a high sense of morality and dignity. But his idealism was something unacceptable to his fellow reformers. Instead of listening to Rizal, they indulged so much in drinking and gambling. Even worse, they became preoccupied with women. Rizal's supporters started shying away from Rizal. They felt that Rizal was intruding on their private lives as individuals. Some of them started shifting their loyalty to Del Pilar. According to Guerrero, Del Pilar was the only rival of Rizal for leadership in the reform movement. This was because Del Pilar was quite modern in his concept of political activity, belief in organization, as well as in his efficient and skillful employment of mass propaganda methods. Moreover, Del Pilar was an epitome of a modern politician, lawyer, journalist, and a civic leader, fused into one. To prevent conflict, a meeting was held on January 1, 1891 to settle the differences between Rizal and Del Pilar. The meeting was held by 90 Filipino expatriates in Madrid. Voting took place with Del Pilar and Rizal as contenders. This divided the Filipino reformers into two camps, the Rizalistas and Pilaristas. The balloting that ensued resulted in 3 inconclusive ballots, with 2 more the following day. Annoyed by the situation, Rizal walked out. To prevent further division of the Filipino community, Del Pilar directed Mariano Ponce to convince the Pilaristas to vote for Rizal. Rizal was finally elected as a consequence of what Ponce did. Rizal nonetheless did not accept the coveted position. For him, the election that took place was an insult on his part. Aware of the fact that the Pilaristas hated him, Rizal felt that leading the Filipino community in this struggle would only heighten disunity among the expatriates. Rizal therefore abdicated the position of leadership conferred to him by his fellow reformers. Rizal arrived in Biarritz in the early part of February 1891 and he stayed with the Bustids. Rizal became attracted to Nelly, the younger daughter of Mr. Bustid. Nelly, according to Rizal, was an epitome of a real Filipina, virtuous, highly intelligent, and energetic. Luna, upon hearing of Rizal's plan, convinced Rizal to push through with it. Rizal seriously courted Nelly and he succeeded where Antonio Luna failed. Rizal won the heart of Nelly Bustid. But as always, the family of the women which Rizal was wooing were not in favor of him because of him being a reformist. The two eventually parted ways as good friends. It was in Nelly City where Rizal finished his manuscript of his second novel, El Filibusterismo.